What's good out there, Team J3? Your boys are back in the building. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Chilling.
What's good? I got Ronan Joe Gidget.
Friday, man.
I got Sadler Ward. We are a couple of members of the Just Us League.
Sorry.
But you know, we had did this reaction to Kong and all that stuff like that, and I think we enjoy the monsters a little bit more than the rest of the squad do.
I think
you
so,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I think this is fair for Team J3 to get that experience.
Yeah,
you got
that.
that
Monster Mash.
Yeah, he calls it March Monster.
March movie.
Wait, March. What is it?
March Movie Madness.
March Movie Madness. All right.
Oh, yeah.
The NCAA of movies. All right.
go.
So everybody can get the feel of how you gonna get this review. You can't really spoil Kong Skull Island because if you don't know about monster movies, then you don't know much. But this is gonna be a spoiler review. So we will talk about scenes in the movie. However, you will be warned before we get to that level. So we keep it plain and simple for you.
We're gonna play nice and we'll let you know when we take the gloves off.
Yeah, straight up. So introduce everybody completely so everybody know, and then tell your role. I'll explain the role, but
Sure.
I got my boy Ronan Joe Genji, aka Mr. Terrific, in the house. What's good?
Chilling, man. Ready to talk some movies and talk some Monsterverse. Let's do it.
And I got my boy up on the right of me, Sadler Ward, aka
Does he know yet?
he don't know yet.
Aquaman.
Okay.
Aquaman. I said Red Tornado.
Red Tornado's type too.
I do in the comic books,
What's up?
but transfer to TV and digital. You seen Supergirl, Red
But
Tornado?
he gay on Arrow. Mr. Terrific gay.
Yeah.
Shit.
You took their breath.
I mean, but Mr. Terrific still one of the coolest niggas in the comic books.
He took his arm. Come
Think
on,
like-
Red Tornado in the books is dope.
But he wouldn't get Supergirl.
And he's
my
sea
nigga.
level.
He wanna
So
get
if I'm gonna go
Supergirl.
sea level, I'm gonna go SEA sea level with Aquaman.
He
I like
Aquaman.
that.
He Aquaman. All right. I'm J3, aka the Batman.
Yes.
So
Tight.
I am a Kong fan. I watch the monster movies. I'm more of that guy who enjoyed the films back then and everything like that, and just watched it just for fun. Ronan took that shit to another level. Go ahead and speak it.
Oh man, Kong. You know, I've been watching them since the Peter Jackson movie, and then the ones before, the old black and white movies. They were something special to hold, man, because it was really larger than life stories. They were on a smaller scale, but it was cool just seeing the technology of creating monsters and something that was, you know, much bigger than what we imagined. So, monster movies are a big passion to me, and Kong, Godzilla, and all this stuff. It's real cool, man. Like, people take for granted that, you know, this is the genres that really started the movement. Because
Yeah.
before that, we didn't have a lot of this stuff. There'd be no slasher movies or things that showed, like, monstrous things, like, from other worlds. Like, so monsters is a big, huge thing. So when this kind of came back to the forefront, it was kind of like an homage. Like, hey, man, this is where it started. Let's pay homage to that again, but let's
Right,
revamp
right.
them. So it was kind of cool, though.
All right, with that, go ahead and tell them what's good. Where you stand in this movie? Where's your? You've been watching this shit for a while. Let them know where you stand at.
I like B movies, man. I love it all, man. I was known as Zilla for a long time because I'm a big Godzilla fan. So those of you that really know my history know me as that. And like, you know, I was inspired by all of that great stuff. I'm not mad at the dude in a rubber suit walking around stepping on little models and shit. That's what I came up off of. So
That's that Power Rangers shit.
so anything exactly. So anything that gives me a visual special effects. I'm into the looks of a film. It's always not story driven with me. Sometimes I just want to sit there and veg out and enjoy the ride. And I tell you, I enjoyed this ride. So let's see what you got to say, Jay.
All right, so we gonna get into this review. This was we've been waiting for this shit for a while, y'all. So finally get a chance to see kind of the second installment of this monster universe that's about to grow. So we saw Godzilla, we saw how that shit turned out, and now we watched King Kong. Was not really a big fan of the trailers. I liked certain parts of the trailers, but as far as visual, didn't feel the trailers too much. So now here we go. We here. This movie basically takes place. You want to go ahead and speak it, or you want to speak it?
I'll do it.
You want to do it? Go ahead.
All right, the film takes place. It starts off in 1944 during the World War, during the Americans and the Japanese battling, and you got these two soldiers that are fighting to the death. And when they're introduced to the legendary mythos of King Kong, and then the movie jump shifts to 1973 as the Vietnam War is ending and the soldiers are coming home. And basically, we're introduced to the Monarch, which is this mysterious agency that goes on these missions and expeditions and stuff like that. And we find out that the company that's running this expedition is broke because they haven't found any mysterious artifacts that existed. So the team puts together this expedition and funding, and they go to their corporate leader to, give them money to go on this mission to explore this uncharted territory that's on the South Pacific of Skull Island. And for those of you that don't know, Monarch is a specific scientific agency that tracks and hunts down MUTOs. MUTO stands for Massive Unidentified Terrestrial Organization. Yeah. So that's what they do.
Tight.
And that's what it is.
And that's basically what happened, y'all. So, what you think? Go ahead, Sad. Tell them what's up. What you think about the movie, man?
All right, so
like give Team J3 a nice feel, a pro, con, and a whatever. Okay. But start with the pro, and then we'll go in. We all give a pro, and then we give a con, and then we're gonna go into that spoiler shit.
Okay. All right. At this point, I snuck around, looked at some other reviews, and I don't think the fans are fair. I'm gonna come in and tell you that from the gate. I don't think the fans are fair because they're like, oh, now they saw what happened with the Marvel Universe and the DCEU, so now they're trying to create a monster universe. I personally, before I even get into any of this, I personally feel like if the fans had thought about it and they were like, oh, why can't we get more monsters? Why can't we get more monsters? And you give them more monsters and they're like, I don't know about this monster. You know what I mean? So like, for me, I dug it. I dug the cinematography. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed. If you saw it, there's a point where a helicopter, I don't know what they call them, the army helicopters, and it showed a dragonfly in the foreground, and then cinematography switched out from the helicopter to the dragonfly, and you saw the similarities in the design of nature and how man imitates nature. This movie is about man and nature at the end of the day. It's about man overstepping his boundaries within nature, and I dug that part of it. I don't think that what I really love was, to me, Kong was the star of the film. We got a lot of him. We got him early on, and we saw. Whereas if you ever go to a boxing match and the boxers don't really fight, you came to see a fight. I came to see a monkey. I saw a monkey, crazy monkey.
I saw two of them.
Leave it to J3. So that was my biggest plus, is that I got a lot of screen time with me and Kong. Now, my minus, as I snuck around.
We'll you as a pro,
so
right?
Just a pro. That's a pro.
All right. So we can keep it going, so we can get to the spoiler, because I got a lot of shit I want to talk about. All right. Personally, pro of this movie was the sound to me, man. I really dug the sound, like you said. I'm gonna take this shit real quick and bite off that. I dug the sound, man. I love the surround sound system in the theater, the bass module, that shit hit so well when Kong hit his chest. Boom, I felt it. I was more engaged by sound than visual. Unfortunately, I have to say that. Just you hear the bugs and when they're in there, I really like that shit. That shit was on point. I like the sound on that part.
Yeah.
That's it. Go ahead.
So, I thought the movie had a distinct directing style to it that was real cool. They really captured Vietnam. They really captured the 70s. I like the look and scope of it. I like that it was more of a survival aspect. They jumped right to the get-go. They got right to the point. So it was about survival and spectacle for me, and the movie delivered on that. One of the things I was saying was that if they always focused on, getting to the island and then getting their proof and then not leaving the island until the end, the movie did its job. So it was about these soldiers surviving and trying to get proof. So it was a survival adventure with some cool spectacle on top of it, and I like that because it didn't really waste any time if you know the mythos and what's happening. So it did a lot for me.
Word. Yeah. All right, so sum it all up. You got a good perspective on what parts they like. Now, minus what you didn't like about the movie, man.
All right, well, let's just say
something quick, because when we get in the spoiler, I'm gonna destroy some stuff, but just some quick. What you didn't
allegedly you're gonna destroy some stuff.
Maybe I make them want to stay.
So listen, so for me, we saw 3 different movies. I saw it in XD. J3 saw it in 3D. And how did you see it, Ron?
I saw regular IMAX, no 3D.
Okay, so first of all, would you want to see it? Would you rather see it in 3D or XD, or what's the preferred viewing?
Oh, 3D.
You think 3D? I saw it in 2D. I thoroughly enjoyed it in 2D. Okay, so now what was your question for me? I'm sorry.
What you didn't like?
What I didn't like. Okay, so my gripe is going to be everybody's gripe. I'm sure it's across the board. I didn't feel certain characters were utilized enough. Right? I mean, you want me to go into depth with?
No. We just give some quick.
That's one. That's
we got to get in the spoiler.
My biggest gripe with the movie.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the movie. Let me go on record for that.
All right. What I did not enjoy of this film was basically the cinematography and the graphics. The shit looked weak. It looked better though than it looked on the trailer, but it still looked trash. If that makes any sense. Go ahead.
Not too many crimes, but I got some nitpicks though. Maybe certain characters really didn't fit. I mean, they set them up, but then they could have been left out of the story though. I've only had a problem with Samuel Jackson's character. That was it. Everybody else was kind of like, I understand their roles and what they were here for, but Samuel Jackson had another. It was like he was in another movie. The way his character was written, I don't know. Like he was kind of like a loose cannon, like lost cause. Like he didn't know what he wanted to do, but he was making up a motivation in his mind to keep him going to the war, even though he had just finished fighting one.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why would you want to go back? Why? And that was kind of like I said, he was in another movie in my eyes. Like everybody else, I understood their roles.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, for those that don't want to be anything from them to spoil, actually, personally, I don't think anything we say will spoil this movie for you because it's a monster movie. Basically, you're just getting full detail of everything. But spoiler time. So you basically got some pros and cons. You take that. If that's something you're about, then you probably want to stay for the rest of this review. We're not gonna give a grade yet. We're gonna give a grade after we finish this thing.
All right.
But you got some good stuff. You know, you got I like sound, but I didn't like visual. He didn't like certain characters, but he liked visual. He liked visual, but he didn't like certain characters. So you got all that going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick this off, man. This movie was. This is a monster movie, Team J3. This is a monster movie, so I know what I'm expecting. I know what I'm getting. The problem is that the movie didn't deliver properly. The movie was half-assed. It was half done. This is a Kong film, and we understand, yes, there's going to be monsters, but this movie felt like Journey to the Center of the Earth. We didn't get anything. You got whackness. Like you saw, we got a half squid. That shit lasted like 2 minutes. You got a bison that was walking in the water. One was stuck. Okay. Then this tarantula who deep throated this nigga through his neck, and then he was gone. Then we got these skull grave creatures.
Yeah, the skull crawlers. You can call them whatever you want.
Yo, you call it whatever you want. I like that.
Riley.
Yes.
He was tight.
Yeah, we'll get on that. I want to get on this part because I'm starting with all the characters. I'm gonna start with basically the film, and then we're gonna break that down, and then we get into it, and y'all can say what y'all want to do.
Sure.
But we didn't get no serious threats. Yes, these skull grave guys were running around. There was this theory that what's his name? Riley, caveman face.
John C.
Riley.
Yeah.
He looked like caveman.
Call him whatever you want.
He says like, oh man, they got these skull gravers. Kong has to get on while they're babies because the big one comes out and all hell lets loose. Okay, then the big one shows up. Right, and we're like, okay, that's all, nigga, really? Like the monsters weren't developed right. I was expecting more from the monster, the island. I was expecting more, and I hate to do this kind of thing, but you have to. You have to compare other films. All the Kong movies, all they had them pterodactyls or whatever kind of birds they were. All the Kong movies always show T-Rex. They show primary animals that were what's the word I'm looking
primates?
for? Not primates. A territorial beast that were kings in their own time frame. So you seen T-Rex, you seen this deadly brontosaurus, a massive animal that runs the island that Kong had to show why he was daddy. None of these animals showed why he was daddy. They were smaller to him. He destroyed everything he saw. All he had to do was bash his head open. And I felt that was a waste of space. They should have shown me why Kong was Kong. And I'm gonna get on, I'm starting off beginning visual because I'm gonna get into it even more depth with them skull grave niggas because I have a big problem with them. I have a big problem with them because that shit makes no sense to me. Fuck it. Kong parents, it was 3 of them. And they said that Kong parents died to that other one that he served up. when he was a baby Kong. He wasn't even complete.
Right.
They were complete.
But what you...
And it was 2 of them. And they got killed by this nigga?
And they were kind of like in their baby phase. They weren't fully evolved yet either.
No, they were fully evolved.
The skull crawlers?
No. The mama.
Oh,
the
okay,
big one. That's the one that killed his parents.
Yeah.
Listen, but all right.
But she's scared of the baby?
I will tell you one thing. The biggest deal for me was that Kong was still a baby. They did address that he was still growing, and not only he wasn't king, he was king. He said he's king around these parts, but at the same time, the reason, if you notice the detail on that skull crawler, it was old. It was old. If it was as old as Kong's parents, people get old. You got to think that I seen wrinkles in it. It looked deteriorated. The colors were more drab than the younger ones.
You seen
It looked like an old skull crawler. It looked like
you seen Lethal
the
Weapon,
grandpa.
right? You seen Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
You seen Danny Glover?
Yeah.
That old man strength?
Yeah.
It happens. That we ain't talking. King Kong is obviously 30, 40 years old. He's old himself because Caveman
John C.
Face
Reilly been
was there forever.
Right.
He was there since the 40s.
But you don't know the lifespan of a 7-story gorilla.
This is still a baby.
Right. So you're saying he's 30, but 30 in gorilla years could be in...
True.
You know what I mean?
But the whole fact was, it was 3 of them.
And I think this
And he
one was
killed-
the youngest out of all of them.
Yeah, it was 3
because his
Kongs
sisters were gone and wiped out.
by this one thing.
Yeah.
And they were massive too. Should have bashed that no leg having tail with them stupid arms face in. I had a problem with that.
I'll put you on that.
Y'all want to? Because I'm going to keep going. Go ahead. I'm
felt
going to
like-
keep going. I'm being fair.
I felt like that thing looked older. It did look stronger. It was bigger.
Bro, it was
but
serving
the
them
younger
up, bro.
ones, it was serving who up?
It was serving Kong up. He was getting served up that whole time. He did some Abomination Hulk shit on this nigga to win that battle.
So you couldn't see why I could kill the parents?
No, they were bigger than him. They were running the show. The story of this, the story of Kong. This is a problem with the movie, and I understood it was a monster movie, and I knew that it was going to be like, okay, this is going to be an action-packed film, which to me wasn't really action-packed, but it was an action-packed film, and they were going to throw all this stuff in. It was like, okay, cool, here you go. But those story developments sucked. You have a bunch of characters who didn't matter. You told this story of this island that was trash. How is this Kong supposed to go against something like Godzilla's magnitude? But all you do, the story wasn't complete. It made no sense. I'm gonna keep going. Y'all better jump in, cause if y'all jump in, I'm gonna keep going.
I felt like first of all, the skull crawlers, the little ones were scary. I felt like the fight was a strong fight scene. You gotta think, Kong was cheating. He hit him with trees. He had that anchor. The anchor gave him the upper hand. I don't know if you noticed, but that anchor split part of that thing wide open.
Yeah.
Split his neck wide open. Kong was using metal. Shit that his parents might not have had, cause you know what I mean. He had an anchor, and the anchor cut through the dude.
But what I'm saying is, you can't. That's their fuck up. They messed the writing up on that. Kong parents were massive. They were 10
So what
times.
if they said the parents died of old age?
No, they didn't.
But what if they did?
That'd have been different. Then it made sense. They said he took them down. They was in his grave. They were in the thing like this. It was Stegosauruses and shit.
Yeah, when they got to that scene where all the bones and fossils
Yeah, that thing killed his
Those
parents.
wars. Yeah.
Cause remember they took old boy, threw his bone up. That's what they did when they finished killing something. They threw the bone up. That big ass thing had them big ass Kongs in there. So it kind of fucked it all up. It was like, okay, were these some sick ass pale monkeys or what? Cause that skull was massive. It was bigger than Kong. I just have a problem with that. The story trash on that note. Another part I had a problem with was character development. They tried to throw in all this military base. I was like, this shit is not popping. Why is the military so involved? Why are we concentrating too much on Dr. Dre and Eazy-E? These niggas don't matter. The only character in this movie that totally mattered was the biggest part of the movie. John C. Reilly didn't even matter in this movie. We didn't need him, even though I liked him. He was funny, but I didn't need him. I needed John Goodman's character. John Goodman's character is the guy who put everything down. He's the reason why they're there. He was the guy in that boat. What attacked that boat? I need to know that. It wasn't Kong.
Yeah.
Was it Godzilla? King Ghidorah? Was it that battle? It was like 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
He's an old scientist.
He's a connective tissue to everything.
Exactly. Yeah. He knew about Godzilla. He knew about all this shit, but he had 30 words in this whole movie.
Hopefully on that.
Waste of a character. Samuel Jackson character, not needed. None of them were needed. Loki wasn't needed. He was a waste of space. The girl, we already know, Kong and the white girl, is always going to happen. Even though she had a beautiful nose. It was pretty. That angle shot shit, that Stacey Dash look.
Ooh, in the water, I didn't even know she was pretty till she came out the water. Something about swimming pool, man, with women.
Yeah.
Swimming in women.
Purified in the lakes of Minnetonka.
I was like, wow. No wonder Kong.
Once you purify yourselves in the lake. I didn't know he was gonna do it. Color Purple Rain, bro. All right, but character development was not there, man. It was not there, and it really sucked. Yes, we got Kong, but we didn't really get Kong, man. Go ahead.
I feel like, first of all, when I saw, if I did a review with y'all after Godzilla, I felt like Godzilla was about the people, the man and his son, going back to where they came from. It was not about Godzilla. Godzilla was an afterthought in his own movie.
Yeah.
I don't need the people to be the stars of the movie. Like I said, I came to see a monkey. I wanted to see the monkey. And on top of that, I got a shout out to the people. We could criticize the studios for one thing, but they tried really hard to get a diverse cast. You had a couple black guys, you had a couple white guys, you had a couple Asians, you had a couple women. Speaking of the Asians, you need more Asians in Hollywood. So they put 2 Asians in there, but I agree, they didn't utilize them. It was damn near like Star Wars. They didn't use, they get it, all right, we need more Asians in Hollywood, let's get some Asians. And then they didn't give them any real, the most screen time she had her head on Dr. Dre's shoulder. I didn't even know who she was, why she was there, what she stood for, but she was at the end.
The only thing that we knew that she was part of our Monarch.
She's part of Monarch, so hopefully her character gets developed a lot more. She was spared throughout the whole movie. And Eazy-E, they had a couple different comic reliefs. You know what I mean? Eazy-E was comic relief for me. But I liked seeing him on screen. I was like, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. But that was only in the beginning though.
The whole thing was for them their whole mission was to get proof, find life, and get back home.
But that
was it.
But it was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, it was the biggest question was why? Like, why are we doing this? Why did we accept this mission?
And then you got some soldiers that are just kind of, just...
Why would they attack Kong? First thing, instinct is, what the fuck is this? Why are you blowing up the island? First off. They said, oh, because we're doing the seismic, some
testing
shit.
The depth of the island.
Okay.
Bringing that.
So,
it was hollow or not.
So right? Kill a bunch of animals just to do that? In a foreign area,
man against nature.
Well, they were being paid billions of dollars,
right?
So they wasn't on the line.
They wasn't being paid shit.
No, the guy that put the funding in, the soldiers weren't being paid anything, but the guy that was.
All I know is, it was.
We're gonna get some information.
It was a big problem for me. Not saying I didn't like the movie, but it was a big problem for me. Stuff like that because you take away from the movie and what it could have been. I hate to say when you look at movies and you're like, damn, this could have been a much better film. You quiet over here, Ronan. Say something, man. What's up?
I got some stuff. I will say that from the beginning, I like the way that they told the story as far as just a survival narrative. I understand that the characters were kind of like the backdrop of the story. To me, Kong was like the main character. Again, I understand where the soldiers stood and then the other characters that were there. Everybody had their own different agenda, so I like that we were getting snippets of what was happening and the events of what was going on. So that to me was cool because it really didn't waste no time. And then a lot of that mythology was kind of already set up. So what they did here was just took like these these one-dimensional characters and then kind of gave them little snippets of info to give to the audience. And then again, everyone's playing like a different role. So basically, it was just one simple goal, well, maybe two simple goals, was to get information, eradicate the island, get off, and then get the information back to the government, Monarch and all that, and then get home. But this is where the negatives come in. Again, like certain other people were there for the wrong reasons as to why after they've won a war and decided to go back. So my thing was always like, why would you want to fight again and you don't know what you're going up against? Half of the team, I understood why they were there, is because one, their careers and jobs were on the line. They had to get this proof, or else the company was going to go broke and bankrupt. They had to bring something back. And then you had the photographer.
But they all were going home.
And then you were talking about
and they
the
all
photographer.
had jobs.
Yeah. But
they all had jobs. They all had one dude was working for the airline. Mm-hmm. They all had jobs. They all had everything. The problem with the movie, the biggest problem is that the main character, which was John Goodman's character, was a waste of space. He barely talked. He knew everything. What the fuck attacked that boat? What did he see? They never told us what he saw.
The funny thing is that we all of these guys you know how many A-list actors? I was talking to J3 about how many of these dudes have been the leading man in a movie. I mean, John C. Reilly is the leading man. Samuel Jackson is the leading man. I guess
John Goodman.
John Goodman is the leading man. If you look at how
Tom
Hiddleston. If you look at how disturbing John Goodman was in the Cloverfield series, like when he was believing, like he played a nutcase that believed in monsters before. This was a similar role, but we got something totally different from him. So he probably tried to take a different approach. But at the same time, that character, if that character that was in that movie, the Cloverfield sequel movie,
yeah.
If that character was in this movie, I would have got it more because he was a little off, he was a little crazy. This one, he just seemed like a straight businessman. It felt like Popeye or some sort of PG movie. His character was dumbed down a little bit. I would have liked to seen more from him because he was the only one with a real hidden agenda. Samuel Jackson just really had nothing to live for. You know what I mean? And I didn't even know if he felt particularly close. Like J3's always rewriting movies, like coming up with ideas, and now I see where he goes with it, because if Samuel Jackson had been in love with a corporal and Kong had killed that corporal, like one of the women, they shut the door and they had a little thing going on the side and that was his woman, then I get it. But Samuel Jackson literally was on a suicide mission,
for
and
no
it shows you how soldiers are gonna follow their higher ranks no matter what. I personally felt like John C. Reilly had higher rank than Samuel Jackson once you realize, dude, I've been in the war for 43 years, but I guess it doesn't work like that in the Army. I'm not a military dude. But I was like, damn, he's been in since 1943. Samuel Jackson been in 12 years, you know what I'm saying? So he could have pulled rank on him, and they like point the guns over here, then they point the guns over there. All them dudes would have been court-martialed.
When they first met, he did show him respect, though.
Right.
He was like, man, you was fighting when we were going in. Like, he was already there.
When he was in diapers.
Stripes and Purple Heart.
John C. Reilly. But another character wasted was your man in the beginning of the film. It was a great opening. That set the tone. The opening set the tone for the movie for me. The samurai sword, he ran out of bullets, the gun, oh man, and then here comes Kong. Boom.
But
so
which
far,
Kong,
everybody
though?
had an A+.
Which Kong?
Why you say he said two monkeys?
Because he talked about the
Somewhere
mother
hiding, so somebody survived.
Because he said that Kong was massive. That Kong was bigger than the other Kong. That must have been his daddy. Because he was telling the story about the skull grave niggas, man. And that's the one that got the samurai. The Japanese cat. Dude, there was more to... Man, they fucked this movie up, bro. It was a lot to the story that they really chopped out. If you was I'm not gonna rewrite no movie on this. This is just a spoiler review. We're just talking about it. Just homie doing it. But it's just the fact that it was so much missing out of this movie, and it really, it's why I give it this grade I'm gonna give it. The development sucked. The characters, you don't care about them. I didn't care about Kong. Kong can go away and I wouldn't care. Didn't have no emotional attachment to it. Peter Jackson's version of King Kong was 20 times better than this movie. This movie was like trash compared to that, because Peter Jackson's Kong had great character development. It had a great story. it was the same deal. They knew about an island. They got there. They wanted to film it because they knew of something that was better, and he wanted to make millions of dollars. Now this movie, there's something out there that attacked us. I've been searching all my career, and I think I finally found out where it's going to come from, and I need to go there, but you don't believe me, and you won't believe me until I get the proof. So let's get the cameras and shit and get these military-based niggas out so we can go and get this thing. We have the savage people. We're evil, demonic things looking scary as I don't know what. You have these tribal people running around blending in with bricks and stones.
In this new one.
You have a Kong.
Beautiful.
You have a Kong on Peter Jackson who dominated the island. He wrecked them T-Rexes. Those wasn't even no average T-Rexes. Them T-Rexes was vicious. They were more deadlier and more scared than them Skullgrave niggas. Cause them they just had legs. They just walking around with a tail and legs. Why? Kong, bruh. For that girl. This Kong, his finisher was tight when he got inside that nigga's thing and pulled his nigga intestines and shit. That was real. That was legit. I would have did some shit like that. But it was like day and night. Peter Jackson's movie still looks better. It's still, dude, even the island creatures, the bugs were better on Peter Jackson's. He said, you hear that bird whistling? He said, it's not a bird, it's a fucking ant. I wanted to see that ant. How big? And he said it was a baby ant. How big is that ant? They showed us nothing. They said all this shit and didn't give us anything, and it ruined a lot of that for the movie for me. It really did.
So seeing John Ortiz snatched up by that pterodactyl thing and pulled into 4 different pieces, or when they shot the gun and the tree, what you thought was leaves was actual pterodactyls and they flew out, that didn't give you a sensation?
Hell no.
No?
You know why?
That part,
you know
man.
why?
You're crazy?
Hey, I'm crazy. You know why I didn't like it?
Why?
Simple fact. Why the hell y'all niggas got guns and you let this bird just take your boy and slit this nigga in half? I can't get a clear shot.
Sometimes they was saving bullets. I didn't understand that either.
We saving bullets.
So you shoot him. Big deal.
I think they would hit him.
Right.
I think they would.
I rather got shot.
I would've just took him.
Severed.
And he got to yell, shoot me. They pulling his arms off.
Flex wound, would have dropped.
They were like this. Yeah, you're right.
Like, come on, man. This is Suicide Squad?
We're already here on the island.
This is Suicide Squad,
so
right?
we
You
already
have a
did.
marksman, Amanda Waller, talking about shoot her. Bitch, I'll do it myself.
Here goes one part
Take 'em
that
down.
didn't bother me. I had fun. I loved the fight though. I enjoyed it, man. I laughed. I clapped. I was having a ball. For me, this is a popcorn movie. Butter it up, a couple jalapenos, and you're just vegging out. I'm vegging out. I'm being visually stimulated. I wasn't looking for the older Kong where I felt what I call Frankenstein syndrome, where you feel for the compassion for the monster. I didn't go for that. I didn't expect that based on the previews.
But they try to give you that. That was the whole part of burning him.
She touched him on the nose a little bit, but I don't think they really tried to show
That when he
his
said
humbleness, his fair ruling.
when the tribal people were saying, I know it sounds negative, but I'm just telling about the shit I didn't like, and everybody's gonna get this grade. When they said that the tribal people were trying to kill the Kongs, and they realized the Kongs are just there to help them out in the long run type shit, right?
Yeah.
And then so they set it up so you can feel for them. That's why they looked at Kong differently. They said Kong is not a threat. We went and started killing on Kong. Then they burned Kong. He was like, oh, he was hurt. And you wanted to get that emotional feel because Samuel Jackson's motivation didn't even matter. Like you're killing this monkey for what reason when these other creatures are trying to eat y'all and he's stopping them. Like it's just a big bowl of shit of what they gave us, and I ain't like it. Ronan, what's up? What you be quiet over there, man? You got comic books and shit? Go ahead.
All right. So the first thing is basically, I think the main overall problem is that this is a setup film. They tried to be contained, but not so much. But I understand why they did that. You know what I'm saying? So again, I didn't expect like what you were saying. Because I know where it's going to go, and I know the whole purpose of this. Again, this is a setup film. So had it been contained, it would have been a little bit more different. But the way the story was going and what they gave us, I mean, it made sense in some parts. I think, like I said, certain characters didn't really need to be there. It was really, the main attraction was the island and Kong and like a few of the characters and stuff. So again, the whole thing was just, for me, just was seeing the spectacle and seeing the island and seeing the monsters, just seeing these people trying to survive. And that's really all that I can take from it. And
is that a lot though?
Yeah, because I mean, other things were already explained to things like through the little flashbacks and montages. Like, we knew all that extra stuff, so I think they did it a cool way by just making it modern and not doing the Beauty Killed the Beast storyline.
But put yourself,
I like that Vietnam setting.
Put yourself in a new moviegoer that's never experienced it. Never experienced Kong. Don't know about the 40s. Don't know about the 50s. Don't know about monster movies.
But it's like Spider-Man.
Then I would tell them to stay away from this thing. Go back to the classic mythos.
No, but in Spider-Man, but see, like you said, in Spider-Man, if you're gonna do a new Spider-Man, you need to.
Every Spider-Man, he get bit by the bug damn near.
But it's only 2 Spider-Man movies. And he's only happened twice. And out of every 15 years.
And every Batman, his parents get killed in the beginning of the movie.
It's happened every
Batman movie.
Yeah, Batman Begins came out, what, 2005?
Yeah.
And then when was the last time we seen a Batman movie where they talked about that story? That was in 1989.
You don't see the pearls in every damn anime in the beginning?
But what I'm saying is, we know the character. But I can see what you're saying, every 2-3 years you do the same story, yeah. But when the last time you got a Kong movie? 2005?
Yeah, but up until that point, that's been the same storyline.
Yeah, and
so I see what you're saying.
But we are different, and you need to explain that to the new audience. I have 2 kids. Why do I have to go back and show them everything else just so they can get it?
But you would have to show them that anyway.
You shouldn't have to. If you're gonna base something on something new, they should be able to watch that and be like, okay, I get it. If I want to dip into the older stuff, then I'll understand it. That's the way it goes. It's like reading a book. I read The Color Purple, and I was interested and said, you know what? Let me watch the movie. Realize the book is way better than the movie. Talk about all kind of other extra stuff, like her brother and everything. They don't talk about all that shit in the movie.
Right, but if they bring Celie back...
So if you make a Color Purple movie, you're not going to talk about her and being Olivia and all them? You have to. This is an origin movie. This is the beginning. And they half-assed it, and it wasn't even about Skull Island. It was about John Goodman's character. This guy experienced something 40 years ago in the water
on that cruise liner.
Who attacked the boat? Who made his? He's the only one who had a legit motivation, and that would have been beautiful to experience that motivation and watching that iconic archaeologist Indiana Jones adventurous mode that he would have been in, trying to get Kong, trying to realize he's not crazy. He's been telling people about this shit he saw for 40 years. Right. And we didn't get anything from him. Instead, we got a pointless motivation of Samuel Jackson, who just didn't like Kong because some military niggas died, who was attacking Kong. I saw that Kong wasn't a threat. Because if he wanted to kill all of them, he would have just killed all of them. He walked away, said, oh, I'm tired, nigga, I'm gonna get some beer. And walked away. He knew they were there, he can smell them. I'm just saying.
They came on his territory.
You came on his territory, and he attacked something that was at threat. You were shooting him. He's like, what the fuck is going on? He just woke up.
Because he was always by himself, so.
Yeah. Them other people were there. He wasn't killing them.
But don't you think if John Goodman would have explained what crashed the boat, that's a different movie.
No, it's not. It's Kong.
That would have been just, I wouldn't say predictable, but it would have been like some needed exposition. But again, I don't think they should.
Kong is predictable. This is Kong is, we know what we gonna get, but we need to know why we're getting it.
But isn't that the thing, that information died when he died? The reason he got there,
but what about
his priority was getting there. Once he got there, they had no helicopters, no way. His priorities changed.
Do you realize?
Like when would he have time to explain to them all of that shit?
The whole movie didn't even have to start with Kong. The whole movie could have been just like Peter Jackson's movie, where the first hour and a half was getting to the island.
That was done already, though.
No. It's not about being done. It's done right. You keep that's what Warner Brothers is effing up with. They keep worrying about copying. Some shit just needs to be copied. Because you can't do it, because when they did it this way, it wasn't done right. Because at the end, we waited all that time for that extra long ending. I have to say, the ending was long. For some reason, they slowed the words down. Did you do it in your theater?
No.
That shit was slow, bro. It was like,
Oh no.
it was like, damn, this shit gonna ever show up.
That was quick.
That key grip and Best Boy would needed
But Dr. Dre and them knew about Godzilla, Mothra. They knew about them. They knew about all that shit. We should have known. We shouldn't have to wait to the end. The end should have been visual, not paintings. It should have been, he knew about Godzilla. Godzilla attacked that boat. What's his name? King
Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
That was a battle already happened.
But that's why he said it was a setup movie.
No. That is for that's for them. That's
Right, but
How
you're
much
talking
you
about,
already-
if this happened
I know what's
before
going on.
1940, how much did they movies wasn't even they was watching black and white movies back then.
No. We're not talking about. We're talking about this movie and
The setting.
the settings.
Yeah.
Bruh, they knew everything about Kong. They knew about. He wanted to make sure I put this on everything. John Goodman's character was there to find a bigger monster to help them fight this battle. He heard of a Kong that was about humans. He was looking for monkeys to help them fight against King Ghidorah and them niggas that are coming back to take their land.
Speculation.
But it adds up to that. They kept talking about how Kong was peaceful. There's another peaceful animal. He doesn't care. And Godzilla. We're trying to make a movie. The setup
If he was looking for Kong, they would have been forewarned. If he was trying to get an ally, he wouldn't have had to divulge keep so much information from Sam Jackson.
No.
He could have been looking for a monster.
What you're saying is what needed to be done. And that's where this movie goes when it goes south. Because they didn't deliver that. You set up the movie to be this type of movie, and you didn't do any of it. You gave me a Journey to Center Earth Part 1. You gave me lack of animals, lack of creatures. None of the soldiers should have died by the hands of Kong. They should have died by the land. You want to make it about the land? You make them die by the land. And you show Kong save them. You show the compassion with Kong, how he cares about other creatures. He cares about little things getting served up by bigger things because he is a little Kong. They took that away from this movie. And plus the bad CG better than it looked on trailer, but still bad. They didn't put any money behind the CG. Kong moves slow. No excuse why his fur looked that way. No excuse why Jungle Book and Planet of the Apes still tops all CG of all time. This movie should have shown that even Godzilla looked better. Godzilla looked more real.
The muscle structure under. I looked at his back.
No, you're looking. You're not look. When I say bad graphics, I'm not talking about how he looks. I'm talking about when you put him in reality. It doesn't mix. I knew between both monkeys, Samuel Jackson, King Kong. I could tell the difference. I could see, okay, this is a human being, and he is obviously in a green room, and this nigga does not exist. That's a problem. When Caesar stood next to old boy with the big cranium from Terminator, it was like, nigga, bruh. I think this nigga from Terminator is fake. His head is extremely big. This is a real monkey. 8. That's what
the CG was bad too.
In this movie,
Yeah.
nah. I thought it was.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I was bugging out.
I like the way he moved, and I like I think because of the lighting and the color palettes that they use. I thought it looked cool to me. Like when he
the blue toxic smoke, like some of them effects was dope to me.
I liked when he was introduced. That was probably one of my favorite scenes. And that arm came up. And the two soldiers were battling. That was like, oh, okay.
The fingernails.
But which Kong was that? Because that Kong
probably the father.
That Kong looked bigger than this Kong. They knew of them Kongs,
that
man.
Was 40s. That was 1944. Yeah. That had to be the father.
That Kong was 10 times bigger than that Kong.
Because they were on a cliff.
And that nigga looked like,
And the face all we saw was the head and then the reveal of the arm. So, yeah.
And he didn't even kill him. And
they were just staring off into him and then they would shift to present.
Bruh, what? It's a... Yeah. I've been saying, I'm just breaking it down, man. To me personally, it could have been a much better film. This could have been one of the best monster movies. Any movie that's bad could have been, one of the best ones. But it's just the development, man. I understand the setup and I understand what they're trying to do, but that's what Warner Brothers has a problem with, because you set it up wrong. You made me wait to the end to see paintings of Godzilla in them when you start the movie off with Godzilla attacking a boat, but you don't explain what attacked the boat. Was it a large squid?
They didn't start it off with that. That was only a photograph from John Goodman's memory, right?
It started off with it. It started off with the movie. He was talking about it. He's like, this is what we're going to do. And he said, you won't believe what I'm telling you. The beginning of the movie was basically explaining why he was even there, why he even started this journey. But you didn't have no motivation behind it. He should have been that nigga from Cloverfield. He should have been the cutthroat nigga. I need this proof. I need it. Perfect. We would have been able to see John Goodman at his fucking premium. He was the motivation. Dr. Dre and them were just following him.
They wanted to check. That's it.
Yeah. He was the motivation. You feel me?
Yeah.
He would have been.
He was the glue. He was the connective tissue.
Samuel Jackson would have been like, I'm getting my men at. No, you're not. I need this. Fuck. He would have been like, damn, this movie deep.
He should have just stayed behind. I didn't really need him there.
Samuel Jackson was
John Goodman should have been the leader with the other group. Like him and Loki would have been a great team, because he's the professional that hunts this and does this for a living. He's a tracker. He can help him get off. Those are the two buddies that needed to be.
Were the military separated from the civilians?
They were not needed.
Yeah, they were separated. They said, we got a call. We need you guys to come out there and do this. They didn't even know what battle they were going into. They just came home.
Here's the thing. I would have liked to have seen a more of an implosion
they needed
in the ranks.
A tactical group.
You know what I mean? Everybody stuck with Sam Jackson.
But that's meaningless, because Samuel Jackson character didn't even be there. John Goodman, he got eaten, bruh. Oh dear. Fuck. What is this? That was 31 words. He didn't say anything. And everybody has their opinion on what they like, and it's all love. But I really have a problem with that, because I'm a Kong fan, and I don't care.
But you were saying you went to see Godzilla.
I did see Godzilla.
I'm saying you wanted to see more of Godzilla in the Kong film.
This is a setup film.
Right.
This is not Peter Jackson's solo Kong. This is a universe they're building, and they fucked it up again. They did the same thing they did in Batman v Superman by showing me clips. At least I got to see Aquaman, though, not a painting. There's been, 1944. When did Godzilla hit?
44, yeah.
They knew of this shit. So why the world don't know? How did they hide it? Why are you going for Kong? Why are you on Skull Island? Because in my heart, I honestly believe they were there to find a bigger creature to battle this fight that's about to go down.
All this time, they were basically, you've been told through the mythos that during the Hiroshima bombing, that they was trying to create something, and in reality they was trying to destroy it.
Right.
And I think that's why they were keeping it in hiding, because the government was they didn't want to get out to the sources. I think they were trying to destroy it and failed miserably. And the Mutos escaped, and these things got out, and they discovered that there was other creatures and all that. So the whole time back in the 40s, they were trying to fight this ongoing war that they was trying to put an end to, but it was already a war amongst the monsters themselves. That's what I think.
And when King Ghidorah come down from space, bruh, shit finna be lit. And I'm telling you.
And then you got Rodan.
Rodan's coming. Then what you gonna do? The Pacific Realm. Now you're gonna have these giant bots. You're gonna. They're basically
Pacific Rim was on the coast shore though.
All this shit mattered, and they destroyed it by not explaining it. This is the 70s, so Godzilla was already around, and he went into hiding. And then it explained what happens later on when he's out of shape and fat.
Because before Kong even came into the picture, it was really about the tribe, and they were kind of primal enemy number one. But then they started to learn and understand what was going on. Like they started worshiping him and like being his protector. So that was kind of a whole other thing. So when we get to the island, you see that they're already establishing that they've made peace with this godly being.
Kong should have been there, but not there. Should have been that island. And it should have been the island and John Goodman. That would have been an excellent story, done right. And we would have got a chance to see the island take that military apart and those trackers. Bruh, that spider was weak as fuck, bro. It was weak. Samuel Jackson goes to shoot it in the eye. This is trash. Like, I can't get over that.
It was nasty looking to you?
I didn't
It
care.
was nasty looking. All them red eyes and the...
It was a spider, man. I got them all over this house, man. I just... It was
The thing was
pointless.
huge though.
It was huge.
And I thought it was bamboo in his mouth till I realized it was the spider's leg.
No,
So how
it
else
was-
would you take
yeah.
out a spider's leg?
It extended it.
They chopped it off with a machete.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the first one that went in his mouth.
Oh, you thought it was
I
one
thought
of
it was
the-
a
yeah.
bamboo that somebody. I thought the natives were attacking them.
That would have been better. That would have been a better scene.
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit! Ah! I'm done.
The only thing that I didn't respect was the natives have lived there for hundreds of thousands of years or whatever. They obviously got ways around to move around and an ecosystem and all that. They should have tried to learn more from the habitats of that world. You know what I mean?
Maybe they did.
Not the military, not the guys that went there to go and to gather information. When they get there,
Well, the researchers, yeah, but the military, they always have different agendas. So you know, they were kind of the backup, basically. Just all right, we need some tactical.
right?
As things go sour. So I mean, I think they weren't really meant to be key players in that sense. Because even they made a joke about it in the beginning when they were having the meeting and they were watching on the projector what was going on and what they were going to be doing. And the soldier was like, "So now we're scientists?" And the guy was like, "Nah, you guys definitely ain't scientists. That's our job."
But the scientists did come, like the photographer. She took a couple National Geographic pics, but it wasn't. The people hadn't involved in some sort of way with their fighting.
It was more of an
techniques
exploration
against-
factor.
They've been
Yeah,
scared.
so she's gonna bring that and she's gonna show that to the public and things like that. So it made sense why they didn't die. Like they really had did that, none of that evidence would have got back. So in a sense, they accomplished what they needed to do. I think it was Sam Jackson's character that was holding back and was gonna get them all killed. Because again, if they didn't have Tom Hiddleston and Goodman, they wouldn't have made it. Sam Jackson didn't care about anybody. Again, that was a personal vendetta. He was in his own movie.
For no reason.
Yeah.
They could have started Sam Jackson off with
The
a
other two guys?
with a bullet
Okay.
in his with a gun in his mouth, like about to blow his
He was
brains
drinking
off.
alcoholic. You
You
saw
know
the
what I
bottle and he was on another thing, man. Like the other scene, they were trying to find something, and then the other guy's like, "You gonna pay me to do it? I hope you find what you're looking for." And
Did-
then he understood too.
All right. Did you guys care about any of the characters?
Maybe 3 of them.
Who was the character you cared about?
Tom Hiddleston and John Goodman and John C. Reilly.
What drove you to that conclusion?
The explanation and the battles that they've been dealing with, and their skills of what they do for a living, and then just that motivation to keep going and just trying to seek this past and things like that. And with John C. Reilly, just him being a soldier and then him being on the island made me feel bad for him because he had a family.
Yeah, he was probably the only one that can get somewhat of emotion from me.
Writing
The
home
last scene.
civilians.
And survived all that time and learned to cope on the island because normally you would just go delusional and crazy, but he was still sane. You know what I mean?
What about you?
They
And
made.
he gave answers. to
I
it.
cared simply. I can't say I saw where they were going, and I was surprised that they killed a father with his letter to his child.
He was weak.
You know what I mean?
This nigga got eaten. Why you ain't paying attention, my nigga?
Bill, I didn't care about John.
care for him,
I didn't
but
care
I
about
feel-
John Ortiz's
I
character.
didn't care about him.
I didn't care about anybody from NASA or anybody in a blue uniform. None of them really.
They were trying. That's what I'm saying.
None of them mattered to me. I did care about Jason Mitchell, aka Eazy-E, simply because he didn't want to be there and he didn't need to be there. You know what I mean? 2 days before you get off, it's time to go home. He was ready to go to Key West. Some of the dialogue with him was clever. I didn't understand the mom jokes. Like I thought he would be writing a letter to his girl. So that was the character I cared about was Jason Mitchell. I did care about the dude being a dad, and then everybody else. And then obviously I wanted to see. You know, I didn't want to see anything happen to King Kong. I didn't necessarily care about the photojournalist. I didn't care about Loki. You know, and I say the third character that I wanted to see more from. I enjoyed Samuel Jackson's lines. You know what I mean?
Bitch, please.
Yeah, you know, he was.
Everybody was feeling
fun,
that shit,
but
though,
then
nigga.
halfway through, I'm like, oh shit, he's not a villain, but he wasn't an anti-hero. I don't know what he was.
Nah, he
The
was a
funniest
villain.
part with me for Samuel Jackson
was a
was a
villain.
stare down. Cut to Sam, cut to the monkey, cut to Sam, cut to the monkey, and like he's just big to the monkey. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and he did that eye, and he cut it back. I said, how many times they gonna show us the same clip with his eye bugging out like this?
You know what's crazy?
What?
You just sparked something right now. Like, maybe what if Sam Jackson going after him sparked that aggressive factor for him to go back into survival mode? Because remember, he was living peaceful up until all that time. So now that when the other creatures and stuff comes, he's gonna be ready. So he's gonna go back into territorial protection mode. You know what I mean? Kong wasn't messing with anybody, but Samuel Jackson almost not killed him, but knocked him down for the count.
He was
and
on his
really trying to
kumbaya.
attack him. Yeah. So who's to say that he sparked something in Kong or did some type of evolution on him? Because once they get attacked, it goes more into a rage factor now. So now he's ready for whoever else comes to that island. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. He ate a whole squid, bro.
Yeah.
Tore that squid up.
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
No, but I ain't worried about. I'm just saying, man. It just,
So I don't feel like he was supposed to be like a threat at this point. I think in the next movie he's supposed to be that.
But he still.
menacing,
But nah, he was still.
godly
He was
threat.
still
He was
on-
just here doing his thing.
Nah, it
Right,
wasn't
he
more
was
than that.
kumbaya, he was woosah.
He really wasn't, bro. He was watching over that fucking them Skullgrave niggas. He'd kill them every day. They kept coming out. Squash their head. He said he can kill the baby ones. He can kill the baby ones.
I got you. But
know,
I mean, but what was he doing? Other than that,
the squid attacked them. There were threats. There were spiders, ants, and they didn't show it. That's the problem.
I got you.
We're doing a lot of assuming on how it could have been
Instead of
visually
I heard you.
getting what we should have saw.
The next movie they can say, oh, that was
You
the
sound like
male.
Star Wars now.
The male.
You sound like
the
Star Wars
female
now.
is even bigger than the male.
You sound-
don't
I
know
think
that.
they will,
You
though.
don't know
you
that's
sound like
the last.
you sound like Star Wars
But you
episode.
don't know that that's the big one, because John C. Reilly, who was way out of his gourd, said it was the big one. That don't mean it was the big one, because John C. Reilly, who probably never even came across a big one.
You sound like Star Wars about Kylo Ren. He was injured. It could have been better. He had to finish his training.
There could be another bigger one.
Who said that?
You right, bruh. Everyone says that. That's what they until Rogue One came out, because they wanted to prove why he was trash. Bad writing. You write stories.
All right, now draw.
Bad. You don't do nothing like that. He obviously identified that one as that's the big one, because he's seen the big one.
He's seen all. He was
You
there.
don't know he's seen the big one.
Yes, we do. Because
How?
he warned him. He said the big one is in hiding until Kong is weakened and the big one will rise. Kong was on fire. The big one rose.
You don't want to be out here at nighttime. Come to my place.
He already not. That's the big one. Oh, I've seen that one before. That's the one that killed Kong's parents.
But you taking everything he say for gospel as a way of informing.
That's
He was nuts, right? Wasn't he looking at
wasn't
the hot dog?
he-
Are you real? Are you not real?
No. Don't
this a
don't
hot
take
dog?
don't
No,
take
that
that
was
from
him just taking references from the past, like just him.
Yeah, don't. He
Trying to
wasn't.
hold on to his
He was
humanity.
not nuts. He was actually really sane.
He was all there.
Cause he could have been attacked niggas and ate them and did all kind of weird shit.
Yeah.
Could have been walking
I
around
said
with
it,
his
yeah.
dick out and shit.
He was kind of sane. He was very sane.
He was a soldier. He
was kind of really the exposition that all we had.
He heard they were coming. He had the radio. He heard they were coming, and he said, "This is my introduction." I know it comes off. Look, oh shit. He planned to say that. He said that to break the ice. He was very sane. There's no excuse why this movie did that. To me,
He was the walking narrative.
yeah,
kind of pretty much.
he knew everything about the island. He said, "Well, I think I know everything. I should
He knew
listen
about
to
the
me."
tribe. He knew about the culture. He knew about the monsters.
spoke
that
Japanese,
there.
bruh.
Yeah, he was a survivor.
He was the true survivor. He was Alan in Jumanji. For real. He should have been Alan in Jumanji.
I think he should have led the group.
Of course. He lived there.
Like I said,
he
like,
was like,
I
I
cared
only
that-
been here
John
28
Goodman.
years.
John Goodman should have. Bruh.
This is what I'm saying though. I cared about the people that would keep us alive.
John
That's
Goodman.
why I picked those three.
Look.
but he's in that core too.
Bruh,
Yeah,
He had a radio. John Goodman should have been the one talking to that nigga. And that's how John Goodman knew about the fucking island. Because
You want to be with a group of people that
how did he know they were coming?
Yeah.
Who did he talk to? There's a lot of fucking cliffs, man. I'm falling off this cliff right now. It's too much dialogue that they did not explain by saying sentences.
What, like I heard you were coming?
I heard you were coming. He walkied them. He knew where they were coming from.
He knew about the comrades coming. He knew when they were going to show up, what time they were going to get there.
I wore my suit. I was prepared for you guys. He knew they were coming.
So they wouldn't kill him.
And then John Goodman knew where the island was at.
Because they've been researching and studying it for the last few decades.
How you get the information, bruh?
That's where Monarch comes in.
Who you talk to? I tell you, I don't watch movies like that, y'all.
That's the only connective tissue, though.
And they destroyed it. Godzilla. They showed right. I like to call him Caveman. They showed Caveman first, and they showed Little Leg John Goodman. Those three were the connection. Godzilla was what sparked everything. That battle between who knows what Godzilla went up with. I assume King Ghidorah.
Possible.
And after the wreckage, he was in the water and hit the ship and destroyed it. Because what's name was the last survivor. So it must have been a blast or something.
And what was on that ship or whatever it was, it had to be some nuclear radiation.
Something.
Because they weren't fully evolved yet.
Something. Yeah. And that's what
ship
sparked.
Was mangled.
It was mangled. And that's what triggered John Goodman's motivation of a 40-year study. And then 20 years later, you get 1944, because this was like in the 30s or something like that. Yeah. Like someone on dinner in the 28s. He's an old man.
Hiroshima.
You get...
This is what excited me. Because, see, I knew all this already. This is what I'm saying.
But they didn't...
For the audience, they won't.
They didn't explain it. And I hate it. That's fucked up. Yeah. Because you're fucking up the story again.
Because you got separate people that are going to expect Peter Jackson's King Kong, which are going to be disappointed. You got people who just want to see something brand new. Then you got people that really want to understand Kong's mythos. So they kind of dished all that and, kind of just threw the people in. Now, I'm not going to say, treat them like idiots, but for that, there are some people that just wanted a fast-paced movie, kind of like you and I did. So I get that. But you still, at the end of the day, got to give some explanation and some narrative. That's where the writing comes in. I can't ignore that. That writing was stale.
So you wanted more dialogue.
I wanted everything. I wanted action. No, it was no action.
You didn't think him fighting the beast, cracking that jaw open?
That was the last 5 minutes.
All right, so
you say an action movie? We're talking about Michael Bay.
I was saying more like just survival though. It wasn't really action because it did slow down in parts though. Like even though we did. I'm just glad that they showed us Kong.
I like the fact that
they let you know that he's in this movie.
I like
something that Godzilla didn't do.
Did not do.
But I understand what they were doing with that, so I appreciate that.
Godzilla was out of shape. This is 2014. So he's old.
He's probably working out now because we'll see him in 2019.
He's been sucking on that Earth's core for about 50, 60 years.
But I'll get into that too, though. So. I was wrong about the Kong versus Godzilla in 2020. We're gonna get something before that, King of the Monsters, which is next 2019, I think, and then we're gonna get Kong versus Godzilla in 2020. So he'll get his second redemption film as well, and I guess there's gonna be other creatures in that too.
They're taking the monster, not to cut you off, but they're taking the monster movies lightly, and they don't care about the monster fan base. They don't, and this proves it. Just throw some monkeys in there, kill some animals, game, bro. There was so much they could have put in this island. And the director and the writers bombed on this one for me.
So what did you have? You had an ox, you had a spider.
The ox didn't do nothing but get eaten.
It reminded me of the Blue Ox story with one of them, isn't that?
Lumberjack.
Yeah. So I thought the ox looked dope, though, visually effects. Like me seeing the grass move and, seeing that giant octopus. What was that, like a kraken?
Squid.
I'm pretty sure that was a kraken for the most part.
Nah, we gonna get that much credit.
No, it was big as shit.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Radiation, who knows?
Davy Jones, bro. I think it was real, man.
We had the pterodactyls.
The pterodactyls, yeah.
What other monsters? We had them giant spiders.
The water buffaloes.
That's the ox, though, ain't it?
Yeah. It's a water buffalo. Yeah. They're all the same.
Yeah. And then what else? That was all the monsters.
All those roots, those branches.
The dumb beetles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Trash beetle.
You know what though? It was a giant stink bug. You know what though? The thing was for me was, man again sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. The funny thing, the similarities between Planet of the Apes and King Kong is pretty, pretty striking.
But maybe they did
both
belong there.
Animals
though.
wanted peace, and man. Man will try to dominate. I want to prove to him,
that was
Samuel Jackson was ego driven.
But that's what his fuck up was. That wasn't the movie though. It wasn't about man putting their nose where people. There were men there. The fact was, why was they going there? What did John Goodman see and experience to have this motivation to start this secret agency to find these monsters that exist? And why are you going to Skull Island? To find another giant that you heard something of giants that are kind, that protect the land that you live on, and will fight the great fight.
And you didn't get that.
Hell no, we didn't even know why they were there. Why were they there?
That's why you gotta go to see the next one.
No, that's why they lose money. You fucked up this. I'm not paying to go see another one. I am, because I'm a monster film.
You are though.
But the average the average person is not going to do that, and they're not going to explain that. Watch Star Wars Episode 8. Watch you find out why Rey can't do. They still will not explain why she's able to do anything. They're gonna make something stupid up. Oh well, she was born. And
it was a bloodline thing.
It was a bloodline thing. Oh my god. Oh, it's every 100 years, a wise one gets the powers that we just can't explain. That's all you got?
Why is he trying to save Jack? That's how I felt. I did not. I like Samuel Jackson is acting in the beginning, but when I've seen the guy going after the other guy, we're not gonna leave a soldier behind. Like,
take Samuel Jackson out of the equation. Trash.
Other than that, I had fun for 2 hours.
That's cool. I think we all enjoyed.
It was a 2-hour movie.
I don't know, but an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was quick.
It was
how
quick.
long was it?
It was quick.
I wonder.
No, I
had fun.
I wasn't saying you was wrong, but it was a 2-hour movie. Didn't feel like one.
You said it dragged in places.
I don't think it did.
No, it was cool for what it is.
120 minutes. 120
Yeah, 2
minutes.
hours. That's 2 hours.
I think it just was missing all the ingredients. We got the icing, but no cake. The icing was seeing Kong. Cool, man. Look at him. He's big, bruh. Where's his nuts at? No homo. That nigga ball should be nigga. If you gonna show a monkey,
you know what the rating would be?
Crazy.
Show a monkey.
Come on,
show him, man.
You know what the rating would be on that movie?
Nothing.
A 40-foot penis.
It might be a point where they have to explain that though. Like,
He's a monkey, my nigga. Where's that nigga? Where's this nigga shit at, bro? Nigga dick. Nigga left and right. This nigga had no dick.
Oh, face.
Fuck.
And all that.
Cause Kong be gay?
You see the?
Could she be a girl? She always try to say the girls. If a female Kong, you know they'll do it in Hollywood. Don't take my idea, please don't do it.
Wolverine a female, so it Kong.
Cause Godzilla, it was like
Godzilla's
they reproduced asexual,
yeah. Can Kong do that now?
That'd
be weird.
It could possibly exist though, because he's the only one. How do you multiply your genetic code? You some animals do that in certain hybrids where if there's no man, there's all male, one would turn to a female. Frogs do it a lot. I did a joke about that shit. It was funny.
The guy was opening a sporting goods store, right? So he came and brought him like 7 volleyballs. He said, all right, now I need you to go get me some basketballs. He came back with 3 basketballs. He said, all right, I need you to bring me back a couple ping. He came back, he said, I need some more sports balls to get this store going. And he said, you get my text? He said, yeah. He came back with these giant balls. And he said, what the hell are these? He said, oh, damn, the autocorrect. I meant to tell you to bring me back 2 ping pong balls, not 2 King Kong balls.
Tight.
Sorry, I had to tell you that.
Womp, womp, womp. All right, so we got to give a grade because I got to roll. When you going to get a movie, bruh?
Solid B minus.
B minus.
Yeah.
I give it. I said it yesterday. I give it a B plus.
B plus.
Sorry for the ping pong joke. I had to tell it.
All right, break it down real quick for you guys. Team J3. I enjoyed the sound. I enjoyed the experience because I am a monster fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted more from this movie. I felt Kong was that type of film. Godzilla's really not. Kong is more human-based character. He understands. He feels. He has a heart. He has a soul, quote unquote, in this universe. Godzilla is not like that. So I was expecting more from this island. The love of Kong, I was expecting more. Lack of character development, didn't care for anybody. Felt like John Goodman's character was wasted 100%. He was honestly the strongest actor in the whole group overall in filmography. Strongest actors, even stronger than Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
And we didn't get any of that from him. Waste of space. The girl was a waste of time. Everybody's a waste. Didn't care about Dr. Dre. Didn't care about Eazy-E. The Asian girl was very cute. Wanted to see something about her. Wanted to see if her and Dr. Dre was gonna kiss. Give me something. This movie was lacking everything. The tribal people were bland, stone. They were weak. What was John C. Reilly was doing? What was he doing there? Like, did he bash any of these tribal people? What's up? How did you survive? You was on an island with the Japanese guy, and you guys survived for 20 years, and then he gets eaten by one of these Skullgrave people. What the fuck? Not happening. Not in my eyes. If you're already a survival person, you already know where to go. You know how shit runs. I thought it was a waste of time. They really killed it. They dropped the ball on this movie. But I am a fan of it, and I understand what it is. I just want more from movies like this, because if you give me this shit, you're gonna make the rest of them just as trash. Because it looks like Godzilla was, to me, trash. This one was slightly better, but it still was in that bottom of the barrel. I'm gonna give this movie a solid, legit C. It's a C for me. C movie. It's cool. The graphics was good. As far as when you watching it 3D, it was way better than it was on the trailer. Looked better, but it still was bad. They could have put money behind it. If they're gonna do another movie, it's already effed up in my eyes. You can't get over it, because John Goodman's character was the unlocking source. He's the unlocking source of everything, because Godzilla was 40, 60 years in the future. So all that Bryan Cranston shit is out the window. This is what set the playing field, and we were not giving it right. And that's what makes this movie bad.
Do you see when they were in the clouds, though? I know you're wrapping it up, but when they was in that mountain and the lightning was striking, and then they come through and everything is smooth and pristine, and you see that beautiful island and that lush greenery and them big humps of land and green trees coming out of that
Trickery,
water.
bruh.
For me, that was beautiful. It gave me a smooth feeling.
If you like that,
place I never been. It was an enchanted island, and that for me is why I feel strong.
If you like that graphics, you're gonna shit your pants when you see Wonder Woman, bruh. Because this shit wasn't even tight. Peter Pan, Hook looked better than that, and that was in '91. Y'all disagree?
Oh, I like that. What's the
Hook with Robin Williams when he came flying in when Tinkerbell had him?
I had to watch it again.
Looked better than Kong did in 2017.
That water looked gorgeous, man. In Greenland,
bruh.
Yeah, I just
Hook. What
about that? You said the Hook movie.
The Hook scene when they were in the water, when she brought him to Never Neverland, looked better.
Spielberg movie, right?
Spielberg looked better than King Kong did now.
Yeah, I disagree.
I had to see it again.
And you don't remember it.
I don't remember.
It looked great, but better. Nah.
You gonna show them that? So
I gotta go.
No, we're going.
So, you guys got everything from us. Sorry, I gotta roll. I gotta get my daughter. But this is what it is, man. Like this video, subscribe to J3 Entertainment. Tell us what you guys thought about Kong. If you loved it, put it down in the comments down below. There's no wrong answers with this. If you like it, fine. That's more love to it. Respect the game. Don't disrespect people for having an opinion. That's not what we do on J3 Entertainment. You got to understand that everyone likes things differently. If it ain't your way, go somewhere with that shit. Period. That was tight though when he went, and I felt that shit. I was like, oh, this nigga's real.
Had a little rhythm to it.
Yeah, it was tight. Like this video, subscribe to J3 Entertainment. Follow Ronan Joe Genji on Twitter. Follow Sadler on Twitter. Follow J3 on Twitter. Our family's growing on that too. J3 out.